Hey guys, welcome to Driven Couples, and today we're going to talk about mindset.
The first 3 times that I came home and my daughter was asleep, I felt horrible. And Albert and myself were actually with someone who's very successful, works like fucking crazy. And we asked them the same thing, like, hey, how do you not feel guilty about this? And you know what his answer was? You should never feel guilty about giving your family a better life.
You have to constantly put yourselves in very challenging situations for your business. So like right now, you're doing good and you're making more money than ever. You got to put yourself in a really challenging situation that's going to force you to get better. Because I try to be 80% healthy, meaning 80% of everything I eat is healthy and 80% of my month I work out. I usually have 2 workouts a day, so I'm always, and that's what keeps me like looking the same most of the time.
Yeah.
That I'm healthy. So when you're healthy, you're able to handle more, and I'm intense. So I just can't help myself. Sometimes I sleep 2 hours and I get up and I'm ready to roll again because I'm intense. I want to win. I want to be the best. And one thing that you have to realize is that nobody has ever died from work. And nobody has ever died from training too hard. Hey guys, welcome to Driven Couples, and today we're going to talk about mindset. What do you got, Syl?
Mindset. We're going to cover the importance of mindset, what happens if you don't have such a strong mindset, how you build a strong mindset, because, everything in life, you can change it once you decide that there's an issue there or there's something that you want to work on or improve on. So, yep, that's what we're going to talk about.
So my thing with mindset, like a lot of you ask me and everybody wonders, like, how is my mindset so incredible? Like after all, like I do a lot, right, Sal?
Yeah.
Wake up extremely early and I get things started. But my key 3 things that work really good, which I'm trying to convince Syl to do, which I think I did, right? 3 days you're gonna do the same routine, but in the morning, and I'll go more in depth. And I want you guys to ask me questions. What we want to do today, Syl, since the future looks so bright more than ever before, we want to give people some money. So
Okay.
It has to be good questions about mindset. Preferably business mindset. But you could ask also personal mindset, but more than anything, business mindset, because business mindset is critical if you want to have a successful business and you don't want to die. So we're doing incredibly well, like better than ever. And when you surround yourselves with better people, that life is just a lot better. Like I think I said 2 days ago that the secret to happiness is just staying away from morons, and that works really, really well. So what I do in the mornings is, first thing I do in the morning, I wake up and I do my self-improvement. I check my finances and I get ready for my workout. Then I do my workout. So that's very important because the workout gets your body right, gets your mind right, because your blood is flowing. And then you're thinking about what you learn, like your self-improvement that you do in the mornings. And then when you check your finances, it's important because you got to track your finances. Mm-hmm. If you don't track something, it's not going to get better. So finances, just like sports, like workouts, like eating, you got to track what you eat. You got to track everything that you want to improve. So I always check my finances every morning because I want to make sure that finances are going up. So we're going to get some questions, guys, but anything else you want to share, Syl? Because I have a few pointers here that I want to talk about.
Yeah. So mindset is really important, and it's basically the determining factor of if you will become successful or not. Because obviously, in life, you're going to have to deal with a lot of things that can have a totally different outcome if you have the right mindset combined with the right information, because you know a lot of the times we're not going to feel like doing certain things that are going to push us not only to the next level, you know, but we're going to default back into the excuses and all that stuff. That when you have the right mindset and you just commit to something and you go all in, then that's when beautiful things really start to happen. Meaning you make everything happen, you have a routine daily that's going to be able to allow you to continue on no matter what's going on around you, you know, and that's where mindset comes into place. It's very, very important to have a very strong mindset, because people, I've seen so many people that could have been, you know, but their mindset is just weak, and when that is weak, you have to work on making it strong. You know, because as I always tell myself, even sometimes when I catch myself, I'm like, okay, so like, let's correct that. Let's fix that. This is a solution. This is what you have to do, even if you don't feel like it, you know, and you kind of have to be able to push yourself and convince yourself to follow through with everything that you said you were going to do, you know, way far after you're like not motivated anymore, or, you know.
Well, so an example in work, for say, like there's, you know, people that get paid once a month, and they're not thinking about pennies, nickels, dollars, or little fees.
Yeah.
And they get paid once a month, and I'm talking about $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
And they just wait on it because they don't need it. And guess what happens? They focus on production, and they don't worry about little things like the peanuts. And then there's the people that worry about the peanuts, that they're so concerned about the peanuts. They want to save every penny, every nickel, and they want to chase every commission. They want to get paid right away in advance, whatever. And those people are the ones that, you know, age, get older, and they're still
not
doing
where they want to be.
They're still doing the same as they were doing when they were 25. Mm-hmm. Like nothing has changed. And then these people that are focusing on the right things, these people are the ones that are growing and scaling their business. And these people are going to be the ones that are going to be retired young if they want to, or becoming like multi-millionaires, if not billionaires, at a young age, because they're focused on the right things. Like, when do we ever worry about little fees?
Never.
Like, for example, like there's people that when they charge, and I'm just talking in general right now. So people that have a business, right? You have a small business, and then you sell a product. And then you have, oh, you know what? I'm going to add 3% if you use a credit card, because you're the 3%, you see it as a big deal. Like, oh my God, this is going to kill me. So you want to save that 3%, and you want to charge it to the buyer. They're customers. Make it easy for them. You know, like eat it up, eat up the 3% and focus on making more sales. When I charge for any product, I never collect 3%, 4% fees. Like, I eat it up, and I do that for everything I do. Like, I don't worry about peanuts. So you got to stop worrying about the peanuts, because that's your mindset telling you like, hey, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You're not good enough to make it big. You got to save everything. Everything is like, you got to be scared, worried. Money's gonna run out.
Well, there's a way to fix that. Remember our CPA at Driven Boot Camp, actually, he talked about that, and he's like, all you have to do is raise your prices by 3% if you really think about it, you know, and then you don't become an inconvenience to the customer, which then kills your business, because it's a pain in the ass having to deal with people that focus on every single little penny instead of focusing on creating, you know, and it would make more sense to charge a little bit more and make it easy and move on to the next client and the next client and the next client. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to learn that, right? It makes just increase your prices.
Yeah.
So I know the Zoom was off a little bit. The sound was off. You guys are back on. So start sending some questions. Make sure you get a really good question, Steph, because I'm going to give everybody here $100. Everybody that asked questions today. So make sure it's a good
question,
business mindset question. And if it's a life mindset, go ahead. But I want to try to keep it to business mindset questions, because like we've grown so much because of our mindset. Like, we have strong mindsets. We have both really strong personalities, and we deal with a lot. But it's our mindsets that has, and we've been getting better and better, stronger and stronger in developing our mindsets. And remember, mindset is like a muscle.
Yeah.
Like, you got to work out your mindset. Like, just like you work out your muscles. Like, you don't lift weights for one one time, and then all of a sudden you're like muscular like Rob Luna, or like Albert. It takes work. You got to work out consistently, lift weights, do your cardio, eat your healthy food to develop the muscles and the nice body. And one of the ways that I help Syl develop her mindset even more tougher has been putting ourselves in challenging situations. Like I am the master of that. If you ever want a big challenge, like I'm the god of putting ourselves in the most challenging situations that you can even imagine. Like situations that will kill anybody, right?
Or stress you out a little bit.
You gotta and you gotta always put yourself in those challenging situations. Are gonna increase your mindset.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it like they're gonna make your mindset so strong that you could deal with anything. And I'm talking about like business is pretty tough. It's very scary. It's like being in the army. I always talk about that. Like you could die any day. Like like Ed Milet, guy that I respect a lot. That he's had heart attacks, and at 30 he had his first heart attack. So like, why do you think? Because he's so intense and because he wants to win so bad. Most people want to compete. You got to win. You got to be first place. That's why
dominate.
we don't dominate. We crush people. Dominates. You don't want to dominate. You want to crush
I think
people.
dominating is better than
when you
crushing.
crush people, you kill them. They don't get up.
I don't want to kill anyone.
They don't get up. Dominate. What?
I just dominate. I win.
How many times have there been teams that are dominating, and then the fourth quarter they lose the lead and then they lose the game? You don't want to dominate. You want to crush people. When they're down, you got to go for the knockout and KO them, where they don't get up. So you got to always learn on a daily basis, because it's every time you learn, your mind gets stronger. It gets more knowledgeable, and you're able to deal with more things. But remember, business, it's gonna be like the army. Like any day you could die, but you could also become a hero that changes a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Creates a lot of jobs, makes a difference in this world. So I'm really excited to hear your questions. Remember that every problem has a solution. So if you're going through tough times in your business, don't worry about it, because every problem has a solution. And what I do is I focus on only things that I could control. Yeah. Most people worry about all the things they can't control. Remember, business, this is how you win in business. You win with your heart. And you got to go strong, and if there's something that happened, it already happened and you can't do anything about it, focus on what you could do after that. Focus on what you could control. You can't control how hard somebody's going to work, but you could control how hard you work.
Yeah.
You control how much you learn every day. You could control how hard you work out, but so focus on what you could control. We have a question, Steph? All right, we have a question first. And if you guys are rich and you guys don't need the $100, just let us know. That way
we'll donate it somewhere.
We give it to somebody else that needs it more. Because I know a few people here are doing pretty good, and you guys don't need the $100.
Tell them that they have to tag you, that they actually have to turn on their camera, that this is in English.
Yeah.
And guys, so tell them.
Steph could tell him. So guys, remember, mindset questions. Turn on your camera. Tag us when we get you guys the money. And this is in English, not in Spanish. We're gonna do Spanish right after this.
Yeah, and remember, guys, just really quick before we get to the question, remember that one thing that's gonna keep you going, even when things just seem like they're never gonna work out and you feel like quitting, is your vision. Always remember your vision. Like when you started, you created a vision and you said, I'm gonna build this $1 billion company. Always remember that. You think people that build $1 billion companies did it very easily and they never had problems and they had so much free time? No. Like Syl always every day it's the same. Every day it's the same routine. Like I get up and then she gets up and then she tells me, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and I tell her, I've been doing all that and all this for already like 6 hours. You just woke up. Okay, let's get your day started. Yeah, cool.
And then he forgets that he goes to sleep way before me.
Then we get to the office.
And I go to sleep way later than him.
The same thing. I'm intense. She's intense, and we gotta go back and work more. And then every day is like, man, is this ever gonna stop? And I tell her, look, this is never gonna stop because you're not complaining about the Cullinan that you have a brand new one, right? You're not complaining about your other roles, so you're not complaining about your 3 Ferraris or $10 million home.
I'm not
You're
complaining
you're
about
not-
the life
you're-
that
you're-
I created with
so
you.
you're not,
I'm not.
you like you
I
like
love
you,
my
you like
life.
flying private, right? In
I love
Gulfstream.
my life.
You like having 2 healthy little girls,
I
right?
do.
With the pool that they're always swimming
So
on,
that's
right?
part of mindset. When
so-
you find yourself complaining about something, I always ask myself, there's people that have it worse. Am I happy with what I've accomplished? And can I just cut the bullshit and the crap and the complaining? But sometimes when you have to deal with a bunch of idiots all day, it doesn't make anything easier. And that's why I completely agree with Albert. Like, if you don't have too many people that are not the brightest tools in the shed, at least the ones that have no hope, that don't want to change, right? Because there's people that are here and then they start leveling up and trusting the process and going to here. And for that, you have to change not only your mindset, but the people that you're surrounded with. Because I'm telling you, dealing with people that are drama, gossipers, negative, like, it doesn't help
Toxic.
anything. It doesn't, and negative people love negative other people, and misery loves company. So we have made a commitment to, as soon as we identify that, you got to go. I don't care how much you produce. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do for this company. You just got to go, because we don't allow that in our environment.
And one of our principles is, when you leave the company once, you leave forever. When you leave us, you leave forever. And why is that? That's just been one of my principles. When somebody thinks about leaving you once and then they come back, they're gonna think about leaving again. It's like do they call it a broken record? Or
Yeah.
not? It's a broken record. Like, this is an example.
It's like a never-ending
A
story.
liar one time is a liar for life. A cheater one time is a cheater for life. A quitter one time is going to be a quitter for life. That's why you see the boxer that gets knocked down, and then what happens? He's undefeated. He gets knocked down one time, and then everybody else knocks him down over and over and over again, and then he just becomes that boxer that everybody laughs at, that always gets knocked down, because when he feels pain, it's very easy to quit, because you quit once already, and it's always going to be quit. So when people leave our company, they're not welcome back. I mean, I was talking to Steph earlier. Like, how many people do we have on the Driven blacklist? They're not even allowed to come to Driven. I don't care if you pay me $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. You're on the blacklist, so you're not allowed in. Like, you just can't come to Driven. It's a privilege to come to Driven. I don't need you. Like, we have a lot of enough good people in our circle that we don't need you guys. We don't want any toxic people.
Yeah.
We don't want any quitters.
Drama.
We don't want any fucking people that have drama. So. What I was telling Syl, just to get to the question, is
cute.
we have billionaire friends that build billion-dollar companies, and they don't stop. If you guys think we don't stop, they don't stop even more. Like, they're just moving, busy. Like, they don't stop, Syl. They don't stop. Like, our billionaire friends, they're always back to back.
Yeah.
And even the ones that sold a company for $1 billion already, they still don't stop. And the people that are still running a $1 billion company, they still don't stop. They're so efficient every single day because they value their time. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people become great and why people stay average. Most people stay average because they don't value their time. They're hanging around with toxic dumbasses, and they wonder, why am I not winning? Why am I not great? Because you're hanging around with dumbasses. Dumbasses like to hang out with dumbasses. Mediocre people like to hang out with mediocre people. And that's why they stay mediocre.
Yeah.
So having said that, if you're watching this and you're thinking, "Man, Albert's talking about me," and maybe I am. If you think that I'm talking about you, maybe I'm talking about you. Who's the question?
Anaim,
Anaim.
turn on camera.
Camera, please. Want to see your sexy face?
Albert.
Is the volume up? Anaim. Is that like Anai, but Anaim?
Anna and then I.
Anaim.
Coming on?
Next question.
Next question. Let's go with, the thing is that they're not, these are mindset questions.
Mindset, you guys.
Yeah, something about mindset, business mindset. Because like I see some of my guys right here on the Zoom, and I know that they're working their asses off, like 16, 17, 18 hours a day, nonstop, 7 times a week, and that takes a toll on you. But what keeps people like that from not stopping? Because I'm sure they remember one day I used to be back in the day, I used to be in a pretty bad position. and I couldn't take care of my family the way I wanted to.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money to give my parents royal treatment or give my kids royal treatment, my wife. I couldn't afford these certain things, and now life has treated you with a lot of blessings. So now you know, like, you have to keep that momentum because you never want to go back to where you were before. So that keeps people going. That keeps me going. Like, when I wake up, I look out through the window and I see 2 Rolls Royces and 3 Ferraris and 1 on the way, and the Suburban doesn't even fit. We put it on the side of the street, and then I come back in and it's so peaceful. I have a nice view in the pool, and Italia wakes up and 2 little girls are healthy, and then you wake up, like a little grumpy. That's the only thing, because you like sleeping too much. But other than that, like, I'm like, man, I'm thankful for this. So I'm gonna keep working, and I don't mind working hard because I'm getting results. So, like, if you are watching this and you're thinking, but what about this person? They're saying you got to sleep 8 hours. Oh, what about this person? They're saying that you got to work smarter, not harder. Well, are they living the life that you want to live? Like, maybe they're not. That's why they're limited, because they have limited thinking. They need their 8 hours. They need their.
Well, see, and another thing to add to what he's saying, also you have to be smart enough, intelligent enough to listen to your body, because you also don't want to have everything and then die tomorrow. We would like to live a long time, and for that you have to take care of your body. You have to listen to your body, and you have to make sure that you rest. If you're happy sleeping 3 hours a day, that's good for you. When I sleep anywhere less than 6.5, 7 hours, I just don't feel good.
Ed Milet says you got to max out.
Ed Milet is Ed Milet.
And he's had heart attacks, and
exactly.
he still says max out.
And I like to not have heart attacks. I'll keep myself healthy.
Well, if you want to be an entrepreneur, get to $1 billion, you might have a.
So you have to become more efficient. And again, everybody has different schedules, different businesses, different responsibilities. So with that being said, you have to understand that, hey, I have to go and handle everything. How do I handle everything? And that takes a very strong mindset, because sometimes it feels like there isn't enough time to handle everything.
You got to max out, guys. You got to push yourself to the limits, and you got to force yourself to do more. That's what you got to do.
Syl, max out your sleep.
Yeah, we're not talking about that kind of max out.
It's so funny because, like, I'll be up till like 1 a.m. and I still wake up before 7, and he still thinks that's, I have things to handle. And to me, like today, I don't want you to crying in the office telling me to come home, that you're not going to leave me there by myself when it's 8 p.m.
I'm definitely
I have a lot of things to do today.
Oh, yeah, I got more.
Just so you know.
Whatever you do, times it by 100, because I'm Mexican.
All right. So anyway.
So like, you go to the office, I'm happy. I'm just going to take, you know who with us, and we're going to be fine.
And you're going to take care of her the whole time.
And I'll wait. I'll be your bodyguard there, because I don't leave you alone.
Ay, cállate. Anyway.
You're too valuable for me to leave you alone.
I know,
what if something
right?
happens to you? I got to be there with my gun. So guys, we have a question. So before that question, I don't know if Alpha Slice was there when I said that, but one of my biggest, what I want to give you guys a big tip today. Like, this is going to be the best advice you've ever gotten
in your life,
in the entire, at least this year. and it's you have to constantly put yourselves in very challenging situations for your business. So, like, right now, you get you're doing good, and you're making more money than ever. You got to put yourself in a really challenging situation that's gonna force you to get better, because that would force you to get better. And I put myself through so many challenges that it's kind of hard for me to even put myself through more bigger challenges. So, like, that's what's made me so strong mentally, because I seen it all. So, like, I seen it all. And whenever, I'm not scared of anything, like, I'm fearless, so that makes me very dangerous. So now I'm constantly, and now that because I put myself through all these really challenging situations, now I'm in a position where I have an excess of cash, and not even counting all my debt that's paid off that I have access to. So I have access to a lot of money, and that gives me so much. It makes me so dangerous, and now I don't have to take any stupid risks. Now everything is measured, but it's because in the beginning I pushed myself so hard and put myself in so many challenging situations. I was trying to go out of business so bad. I tried tens, hundreds of times to go out of business, and I didn't. I made it through it. And because of that, I ended up in this situation where now we have all these sources and options and we could do anything right now. So now, guess what? I'm smarter. I have more experience. I have better relationships.
Yeah.
But now it's not, I don't call a buddy to lend me 50 grand. Now I could call a buddy to lend me 5 million if I need 5 million. And just like that, same thing. It's easier to get 5 million from a buddy than it was getting 50,000 from a buddy back then. But it's because now my relationships are much higher. Now my buddy billionaire that lives across the street, we're gonna go golfing. Now that's my kind of stress. Now I gotta go learn golfing. Those are my problems when I wake up. I'm like, man, I don't know how to golf. So now I gotta go find out and train how to play golf so that I could go not make a fool out of myself playing with Ed Milet and my buddy that lives up the street. So I got to get better at that. So those are my kind of stresses, guys. So pick your stresses. Do you want to be stressed because your bank account has less than 10 grand? Or do you want to be stressed because you got to learn how to play golf so you could go to Bel Air and hit the ball a little bit? First question? Your second?
Question is from Edwin Menjiva.
Edwin.
Turn on camera.
Turn on camera,
Albert.
please.
Syl, how are you guys?
Hi.
Volume.
It's. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Yeah, let me bump up the volume a little bit. It's a little low.
Probando sonido. Check.
There we go.
You guys
We're good.
My question is, how do you pull through in that 17th, 18th hour? For me, especially me and my wife, we just had our first newborn. Well, he's 1.5, right? So one of my rules is I always have to tell him good night. I always have to be there and put him to sleep.
That's
But then
good. I love that.
after, my wife expects, kind of have that time together, and she's a teacher, so she has a 9 to 5. She's after 5, she's done.
She's clocked
But
out.
Yeah, she clocks out. How do I because obviously my wife will support me, but she kind of gives me the look of the, like, come on, like we need to spend time. And how do I pull through with, she'll understand, but then when I'm working, I feel guilty. I feel like, man, what if I, like you were mentioning, what if I died today? What is the last thing she's gonna remember? Oh, this guy was 17th, 18th hour, he was working and he wasn't with me. How do you balance that, and how do you pull through mentally?
You want to answer first? Because I have a great answer.
You answer.
So I'll tell you what. Obviously, as entrepreneurs, this happens to every single parent. The first 3 times that I came home and my daughter was asleep, I felt horrible. And Albert and myself were actually with someone who's very successful, works like fucking crazy. And we asked them the same thing, like, hey, like, how do you not feel guilty about this? And you know what his answer was? You should never feel guilty about giving your family a better life. Number 1. Number 2, make sure if you do die, you're not going to leave them in a lot of debt. And number 3, there's a time and a place for everything. See, like Albert and myself, we incorporate our kids in everything that we possibly can. However, there are times where we have to make a better judgment and say the kids are going to stay, because at the end of the day, sometimes there's a lot of things you can't get done fully effectively with your kids around, right? So I've come to be okay with the fact that I'm going to be a great mother, role model for my little babies that would love to be like me. As much as I would love to lay in bed and cuddle with them, I'm okay doing that on Sundays. And like Albert, I tell him, I have to wait for help to get here so I can get my day started and going, but I am extremely efficient. I hate wasting time. I hate walking slow, because I know that when I come here through this door, work literally has to stay at home, which sometimes it's a little bit hard, especially when you have to deal with bullshit at work that's unnecessary, because you don't know how to cut people off fast enough that create that type of feeling and strain on you, right? So again, it's just part of having the right mindset and understanding that kids are lucky to have hardworking parents, because what you have to pick your hard, and your wife also has to understand. And then it's like also you yourself Can you become a little more efficient? Do you have, like Albert and me, we go on Sundays as much as possible, and I drag them out of the house. I'm like, we're gonna go to the park with the girls because that's all that they're gonna remember. So it's about priorities and maximizing your time and just being very clear as far as what the goals are and how you're gonna get there together. Because another thing is, it's really hard to succeed when your partner, spouse, not saying that she's not fully supportive, but just explain it to her and just say, you know what, babe, this is what I'm working on. Make sure you're sharing your day with her. Meaning you can have maybe like put the kids to bed, have like literally a 20-minute conversation over fucking, I don't know, tea. It depends if you drink or not. Again, it's just about structuring your day to get everything done and maximizing your time. And when you are with your kids, that you have full attention. That means no cell phone, because then they're going to think that the cell phone's more important than them. So, and this is all information for people that are super, uber successful where we're headed. And, all we can do is share it with you, because that made me feel a lot better. I didn't feel as guilty, and when I'm with Italia, when I'm with Berlin, like literally, when I wake up that he thinks I'm sleeping, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I wake up even 7:15. I'm like, oh shit, like, is the world ending? My help doesn't come till 8, which now I have a different solution, because it's a lot of strain for a mom, right? Regardless if you have a 9 to 5 or whatever it is that you do, because there's a lot of expectations and there's a lot of things that moms do that are expected, if that makes sense.
And that's what I'm trying to break that mold, right? That, well, I can't talk for every culture, but the Hispanic cultures, the woman belongs at home. And I was like, no, I want to break that mold. I want to be there. I want to change the diapers. I want to be there. But then the balance, right? And the entrepreneurship, it's hard trying to break that mold, because even her family is like, well, you belong in the house, not him. And it's like, well, I want to be in the house too, doing all the dirty stuff with the kid,
Yeah. But see, again, it could be a day that you dedicate your time to. On Sunday, we're going to take Italia. She requested to go somewhere, and we're going to take her. And, obviously she has to have a few key performance, like things that she does, because at the same time,
KPIs.
you want to make sure that your kids are being prepared for like real life, not just the BS they teach you in school. So again, it's good. And sometimes we take her to the office. Again, she's basically a distraction to everyone and everything, as if people need more distractions, but I still need to do that for her, if that makes sense.
That totally makes sense. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
And also, in that 17th, 18th hour, when things get hazy, when the brain is wanting to shut down, how do you produce quality work without outside substances?
Brother, look.
Outside substance.
Brother, look. Yeah, no cocaine, but brother, I'm really, I'm gonna be straight up with you, and I'm not the best dad. I'm not the best husband. I'm working on it, but I'm not here to say, hey, I'm perfect.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near anywhere to be here giving you guys advice on how to be a better husband or father.
Yeah.
Because I'm really not. I have a lot of work to do. But what I do try to do is like I look, every hard work pays off.
Yeah.
And a child's future is worth every sacrifice. So like I'm sacrificing myself because I want to push so hard right now that I'm young, so that I could leave my child with my two little girls with a better future. So like when I'm 18 hours in,
and a good example,
I gotta go to sleep for at least 2 hours. Like when my mind is not thinking right, that I'm about to collapse, I just gotta sleep, even if it's 2 hours, and then I get up at 2 a.m. and I get back to work. I'm gonna look like shit, and I'm not gonna feel good, but I'm gonna be back up, and I'm gonna be more effective. So sometimes I sleep 2 hours. Sometimes I'll sleep max 5 hours and a half, 6 hours, but that's all I need. And your body tells you when you're like,
Yeah.
But another thing is I try to be 80% healthy, meaning 80% of everything I eat is healthy, and 80% of my month I work out. Mm-hmm. I usually have 2 workouts a day, so I'm always and that's what keeps me like looking the same most of the time.
Yeah.
That I'm healthy. So when you're healthy, you're able to handle more.
Yeah.
And I'm intense. So I just can't help myself. Sometimes I sleep 2 hours and I get up and I'm ready to roll again because I'm intense. I want to win. I want to be the best. And one thing that you have to realize is that nobody has ever died from work, and nobody has ever died from training too hard. Like your body has something that it disconnects. So like if you're working out so hard and so
Mindset.
intense, you faint. You just faint and you fall down, and you lose your breath, and then you get back up. But it's not, you're not gonna die because you're pushing yourself too hard. You die if you're doing other things, and like drugs and other shit. But you don't die because you're working hard. You don't die because you're pushing yourself hard. You're supposed to push yourself hard, but do it try to be as healthy as you can, because one thing, I don't know if you know this, but your body is remade every 30 days.
Some of your organs.
Yeah, like
It can re
like you have, look, watch, I'll give you
construct itself.
some facts that I have here. You have 37 trillion cells in your body. If every second you have 800,000 new red blood cells.
It's crazy.
Every 8 days you have new lungs. Your digestive tract is replaced every 4 days. Every year you replace 10% of your bones.
So you just have to have a healthy diet.
So that means that in 10 years you have a new set of bones all over your all across your body. So like if you don't feel healthy right now, or maybe you're not doing too good, right now is a good time to change.
Yeah.
Like if you've been eating a lot of crap, and you've been drinking a lot or doing drugs, hey, maybe get off of it for 30 days and drink water and eat healthy. You're gonna have a new body, pretty much, and you're gonna be good, and then it becomes a habit. So like, just because you're really fucked up right now doesn't mean you can't unfuck yourself.
Yeah.
So like it's never too late. And remember, the way I see it is that I want to bust my ass off, and I know I'm pretty healthy for the most part. So I know I could push myself to my limits. And because of that, I'm proud of myself in a way, that my daughters have this house, that we moved out of that stupid building that didn't let you do anything. You couldn't use the gym, you couldn't use the bar, you couldn't bring visitors. So like, what's the point of living there? So I was able to move. Yeah, I was able to move my family here. Now my daughters, they have their own pool. Nobody tells them that they can't use the floaties. Nobody complains about anything. We throw our parties. We invite everybody that we want. Nobody here is allowed with masks. Like we do our own. We have our own rules here, and that's called freedom. And how do you get freedom? By working hard, by working your ass off. And that's what I want to do. I want to bust my ass so that I could give my family a better future. I could like create a legacy and leave it for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so intense. Like I just like it.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I took every single word in my heart, and I'm going to keep it in my mind. Thank you. I really love you guys, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, and keep doing what you're doing. Because one thing that I never leave the house without giving my two little girls a kiss.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that's going to be the last kiss that I give them. So I'm always thinking like that. I never leave the house without giving them a kiss. Goodbye. Next question.
Next question is from Marcos Gutierrez.
Marcos.
You give me a kiss, too.
Marcos Gutierrez. Yeah, I give her a kiss too.
Unless he's mad at me, he'll kiss me on the forehead.
Yeah, but that's
Hi.
just, you guys with wives. You know, wives get a little bit annoying sometimes.
Yeah, just like husbands, you know.
I hear that.
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon, you guys. Thank you for taking my call. This is kind of like this is very exciting to me. I'm a Spanglish guy, so I'm gonna do it both ways. Hopefully, you guys could hang with me. I know this is the English segment. For me,
You speak
my
great.
question is, and I'm gonna give you a little more of kind of where I come from, so you guys could kind of hear me out. 7 years ago, I signed up in this $1 billion project, meaning as a service manager from one of the richest men in the whole United States. He owns the city of Irvine. I'm not gonna say his name. So I signed up on 600 units, and I still manage that building. So my thing that I tell my wife, I currently manage a $1 billion building, right? Why can't I go out there and kind of like manage my own 20-unit building out in the ghetto, right? Because it's fear. And this is where I'm going with this. I don't know how to get to the next level, and I'm gonna tell you why, Albert. I'm currently developing a house for myself from scratch. I did the foundation, blueprints, everything. That house alone's got $500,000 equity. That's what it's kind of like. I got a loan for $598,000. After I sell it, I could sell for 1.1 based on the comps. 5 acre property, I don't like Cresta, Cedar Murrieta, where your neighbors have like where they land their helicopter and all that, right? So I'm at this station where my wife wants to move into the house, and I'm like, I gotta find a way to sell this baby, but I just don't know how, because I don't want to pay what's called the capital gains. So, and then I'm like, how can I make a corporation where I could just work for myself? Because if I'm able to develop a house from scratch with a 400,000 plus equity, and at the same time, I'm able to run $1 billion company where they pay me $96,000 a year. Best company, they taught me everything I know, but I just don't know how to move from there to kind of like, como que me tengo un poquito de miedo to take on, right? And I just don't know how to move from there. And I want your advice. I wish I could just wake up in the morning, go for a run, and then from there go kind of like oversee my projects. And I want your advice on how to take my equity to the next level. I already sold the property before where I gained $250,000 y agarré de ahí 80,000 los invertí en el proyecto que tengo ahorita. And I want to move in because it's a badass home where I could see kind of like yours. I have the same view. And it's like, I grew up in the ghetto y quiero salir adelante, you know what I mean? I just don't know how to take it to the next level. En las carnes asadas, in the barbecues with my family members, I'm the only one that kind of like speaks about this. Y nadie me sigue rollo. Todos quieren hablar de la novela. Everyone wants to talk about something else. And I get frustrated because then I go back to my wife and she supports me, but she doesn't speak the language that I kind of like speak, right? She'll be like more like, yeah, honey, let's do it. And she supports me, and that's about it. So es donde quiero conocer más personas to get to the next level, you know what I mean?
How old are you?
Tengo 34 años y mi goal is to retire at 36. I don't know how I do it, but I think I'm almost there.
So like
when I mean retire from working for somebody else.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. So like retire. I don't think people should ever retire, because when you retire,
you die.
You lose purpose in life.
Yeah.
And like my dad is 73, 74, gonna be 74, and he's still like, I like to keep him busy with like small jobs here in our office and at home. He likes it.
Yeah.
And I'm, instead of paying some other stranger, I'd rather pay my dad, and it keeps him alive. It keeps him busy. Keeps him having a purpose. Like he likes helping. And another thing is, like, you're not getting any younger. So $96,000 a year is not enough. It's not enough. So what I would do if I were you is you got to take some risks, because right now you're still at an age where where it's not gonna kill you if you lose it all. And you don't want to be in that position when you're 50, 60 years old. So what I would do is, this property, if you sell it and you get $500,000, you got to pay the taxes. I just had to pay a shitload of taxes.
Yeah.
Because when you start a business, you make a lot of mistakes, and then you have to go clean up, and then you have to pay penalties and interest and things like that. So I had to pay a lot of taxes. We made a lot of millions of dollars, like a lot. So we had to pay taxes, and then because I'm not gonna get into all that, but you have to pay it.
It's part of growth.
But why not focus if you're making 20 million and your net, because remember, 20 million gross is that's not all the money you keep. If your net income, if you're self-employed, if you run a business, it's gonna be 10. Let's say 10 million is your net. From the 10 million net, you got to take away at least half of it. So you're left with $5,000 that you really have, because $5,000 is gonna go for taxes. Then you have $5,000. So you should be able to live good with $5 million. But why not focus on making 50 million? Then now your net is going to be maybe 12.5 million. Now you got to take away, huh?
I've noticed by me being like right now at work, I was just kind of like, I'm expecting a unit so we could remodel it for the next resident to move in, right? So my thing is that, how can I want to quit my job, right? So I could actually focus on my projects. and then from there I could pay myself, because I've seen that if I'm out there, things get done faster. You know what I mean? Versus if I'm over here managing somebody else's assets, I'm not. ¿Me entiendes? Como que le invierto a lo mío
So let me
como
answer because I don't think
poquito
you understood his
y no
question quite, right?
puedo, I can't take it to the next level, right? So
So
that's kind of where I'm at.
let me
No
give
me
you
da miedo
what.
invertir el medio millón. I just want to know, like, okay, do I create an S corporation where I could pay myself a salary so I could remain bankable for the banks and get more loans as well?
So this is the thing. You have to decide what you want to do, and then you have to go out and do it. So you're saying you have an investment that you're building it and you want to flip it, in reality, it's like you kind of have to decide because you can't be in two places at once. So you have to decide, am I going to stay at this job and make my 100 grand a year, whatever, or am I going to let this go and go handle my property that's going to give me X, Y, and Z? I feel like, see, the S corp and all that stuff, it's just simply information that you just have to look up. And there's like taxes. Nobody likes to pay taxes, but you have to pay taxes. It's not like an option, right? So in reality, you just have to lay everything out, believe in your ability, and just go out and make things happen. That's it. Like if you're scared, then that means that you should probably go out and do that. However, so that you don't fall too hard, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you
So
have a
that is that I
plan.
could go back and get a six-figure job anywhere, right? Ya donde quiera me pagan 50 la hora haciendo lo que haga, ¿me entiendes? So
Exactly.
worst case scenario, I figure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? I need more details about all your, like, what city is your property in
He
and all
already told
that.
us.
But more just all the details. And what I would do is I would sell it. I don't know if you thought about a 1031, but then that way you could use that money and you don't pay the taxes. You just roll it into another deal. And I would get some multi units, and then you could
You
that
could manage your
that
own.
needs to go under an LLC, not an S corp. And then from there on, you could pay yourself, and that way you're paying yourself a salary to do the job, and then that's income you could use for more loans. And then from there on, you could continue to get more investment properties and do that. But I just need more information.
Details.
If you can send me an email with just all the details in depth, and I could give you a better answer.
Muchas gracias, Alberto. I appreciate you guys' time. I'll hit you up. I'll send a text or a message, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys.
Well, just
for
send
your
us an
input.
email, Steph.
So
Put
I
the
really
email
appreciate
right
you
there.
guys' time.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. info@themortgageguys.com. info@themortgageguys.com.
Yes. Don't forget me, Marcos Gutierrez.
No,
I
Marcos.
won't, for sure.
We'll be
I-
waiting for your email.
So just make sure you tell me like what's like maybe the mortgage statement, if you could
It's
send me
just a
that,
lot of
like how
detail,
much you
yeah.
owe, like how much, what's the appraised value, and if you have any other properties or just everything. Because right now would be a good idea would be you sell it 1031 to another property, keep your job that you have right now so that you could use that income still to buy another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have two multi-units that two apartments that are gonna make you enough income to survive. And
Bakersfield's the place, brother.
And
Yeah, it is,
definitely,
it is.
I wouldn't.
Because I've been researching Bakersfield for the longest, and when I heard you last time say Bakersfield, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, and
Yeah, but I'm
he
gonna-
shouldn't move into the house.
I'm gonna
Just
help.
flip it.
I'm gonna help you out. Send me all the details, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna make you a millionaire.
Yeah.
Easy like that.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Last question, Steph.
We can try Anaim again.
Anai, are you there? Anaim.
Naeem.
We got time for one more.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hi.
Yep. What's up?
Hi guys, I'm sorry, my phone was just acting up. Anyways, the main question that I have is, how do you control anxiety? So just to tell you just really quick about what I do. I've been investing in real estate. I actually find off-market deals, and I find the buyers, and I tell them, hey, this is the deal, this is what I got, this is what's going on. But currently, I'm in the transition of going from a part-time. I'm a licensed optician in Florida, so I'm going from full-time to part-time, so that I can put more time into the real estate because it has been working out for me. However, it's just anxiety that I get. So, for instance, I start to get this. I start to get so nervous to the point that I feel like I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. I'm 26 years old, but I just get so nervous with every single step that I make, even though it ends up being the right one, because I have all the evidence that's going to be a good deal, that I'm going to be making the right decision, but I still get super anxious. My wife comes around and she's like, "Hey, Anaim, what's wrong? Are you okay?" And I tell her, "Yeah, everything is fine. Look, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this deal, and it's going to work out great." But in reality, I'm suppressing all this anxiety inside of me that drives me crazy. So, what do you guys recommend for me to be able to control myself in that sense?
But bro, I used to battle heart attacks for a living, and I used to get to the point where I'm having dinner with my parents, and Syl's right there, and I get food in my. I don't know if this has happened to you, and I'm eating chicken soup, right? And when you start chewing the chicken, and then it gets dry, and then you still have the chicken, and then you're trying to swallow it, and you can't, and then you start getting like purple, and then Sales like looking at you like, are you okay? And then you swallow it, and it goes halfway in, and then it comes back out, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And you feel like you're gonna choke on your food. And then I had a lot of situations where I was at the gym, and I would feel like I was gonna collapse, and I get a heart attack, and I would see all the trainers like floating around in circles, and I'm like, when people start kind of like floating, and you're like, you think you're floating too, and you're like, what's going on? Because you have so much things in your head. But for me, what happened is what I did that helps me a lot, and what I still do, is the workout and eating healthy. Like when you eat healthy and you work out, like I work out really hard, so that kind of takes away all that energy and anxiety. I burn it off, so then that way I'm more calm. And what I like to do also, I don't know if you do that, is also self-improve, like learn something every day. Because whenever you have issues or you're getting worried about things, it's usually because you don't understand it. Like you don't quite know it. Like for example, I was getting really, really like worried in a way about taxes, because I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting these nasty letters. What do I do? What do I do? And then I was having a problem with my previous tax guy. So what did I do? Instead of panicking
Fired him.
and getting a heart attack or getting all worried, I invested into the best tax guy.
Yeah.
And I got the best tax guy, and then he solved a problem, because every problem has a solution. So I got the best to solve that problem. I let the expert take care of their expertise. I'm not gonna guess or all that. I got the best guy. I called the state of California. I did all the research, and then now I found the solutions. And now I'm like, that's so simple. I'm getting worried about that stuff. That's so simple, so easy. It's just that it's not our expertise. Like your expertise is to go out there and crush it and make millions. Your expertise is not to do your own taxes or to fix your credit or to market your company or to, like, I don't know. I'm just making things up. But you got to focus on your strengths, and workout and eating healthy is definitely key. Because like Syl, sometimes she skips workouts. I never skip workouts. I have non-negotiables.
Tell 'em
so
why.
when she skips workouts, I notice that she gets a lot of anxiety, and she's like going like that and walking around with her tongue like out, and she's and I feel like she's gonna like hit me, and I'm like, dude, you gotta work out and get your organs back in sync.
Reattached.
But that's what I do. You want to add to that?
Yeah, so look, you just have to be able to trust yourself, I would say, because anxiety normally comes from not knowing something, like he mentioned. And once you have the actual facts and the information and the data that you need to, make smart decisions, then you start to trust yourself, and it becomes kind of like a track record. But not knowing is not fun. And that's why you just have to go looking for the right information. Make sure you're covering all your angles, because that's really when things kind of can get nasty. And maintain a healthy diet, exercise. And he's right. When I exercise, I feel great. The issue is that sometimes, for whatever reason, my nannies get here late, then I'm running behind, then I know I have 30 things to do before a certain deadline. And so I'm like trying to speed to my office. It gets really, really crazy. And me personally, I'm the type of person that when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So that's also really, really important, no matter what. Even if you have to jump through wherever you got to jump through, you just get it done, because it doesn't also feel good to have a lot of undone things around you, because that also creates like a little bit of stress, anxiety, whatever you want to call it. Everybody can characterize different feelings and name them different things. To me, anxiety means really not knowing something or being worried about something because you're worried about making a mistake or whatnot. So I would just try to eliminate that, and you have to learn how to trust yourself, your judgment.
And you're also pretty young. I think
Yeah.
you said 26, right?
Yeah, which is why I don't want to have a heart attack.
Yeah. So I mean, you're 26. You're married. That could help with the heart attack thing. But what you got to do is you got to learn. Because you're like your mind, your brain is not. It's too young. So imagine I'm 38. I turned 38. So like every day you should be reading. And what I recommend even better than reading today is use technology. You have podcasts now. Like watch podcasts of two powerful people, and you're gonna learn way more than the book. So watch podcasts. Every morning you should watch one podcast of two powerful people and take notes, and you're gonna learn things. And then whatever's causing that anxiety, it's a lack of information. So go learn that information. Like I said, I was worried about taxes, and I was worried about credit, and I was worried about like multiple things.
Yeah.
And what did I do? I went out there and learned it, like mastered it. So now like it's like everything we have is in place, and we're always thinking about worst case scenario. I'm always thinking about worst case scenario. So I'm like, what's the worst possible scenario that could happen? And I'm prepared for that worst case. So usually worst case never happens, but I'm always prepared for that. So that causes me to have a lot of security, I'm confident. I'm like super confident about everything. But I know what's the worst case scenario, and I'm prepared for that worst case scenario. So I'm always learning things that are going to make me feel like not too secure. So watch a podcast every morning, and and work out and take care of your body and your mind. You're going to be good. So don't worry about that. You're too young to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
For the advices.
Awesome, brother. All right, guys. So we're
Okay.
gonna send you guys the 100 bill, and then make sure you get their information, Steph.
Send it to me. I send them all.
So send it over.
So then you let them know the
and-
instructions.
and then let us know in the comments below if you have any topics for next week that you want us to talk about. We're gonna run it back right now in Spanish, and then we'll see you guys next week. Syl.
That's it. We love you guys. And remember, learn how to trust yourself and your abilities. Bye.
And guys, one quick thing: if you guys haven't signed up for Driven Academy, make sure you sign up for Driven Academy, drivenacademy.com, because not this weekend, but the next following weekend, we're gonna have our Driven Mastermind. We're gonna cover mindset, and we're also gonna cover marketing, and it's gonna be Syl's birthday bash after that. So we're all gonna celebrate, and we're gonna have a good time. So I'll see you guys June 19th.
Bye.